Hi there, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sandra at artypapercrafters.com, and my project tutorial today I'm really rather pleased with. It's a little easel stand diary, and I've got this beautiful little pull-out drawer where you can keep a large post-it notepad and a pen, and in the top part here I've got my scissors, my bone folder, and even a pencil. And so you can pop anything you want really down that little slot there, and it sits on a desk nicely, and I think it looks really rather nice. And your little tear off calendar here. These little calendars I got from my local card factory shop, and they were only a few pence, and it takes you right through the year, and I think they're really a great idea. And I used the bow builder punch for my bow, but today we're going to make this paper. This is gold, so it's sort of got a sheen to it, and that comes from the Petals and Paisleys speciality designer paper, these two. But today we're going to use the Affectionately Yours designer series paper, which also has some gold foiling on it. So we're going to use a piece of that today, and I'm using Night of Navy. This little box is going to be for my auntie. It's her birthday in January, and I know she's going to love this, and so I want to make myself one too for my desk, so I'll show you how to make that now. And we're going to make it in Night of Navy with the Affectionately Yours DSP, and I've got a little piece of mint macaron, and I'll give you the measurements for these three pieces, which are the main pieces that you'll need. So you'll need 2 sheets of cardstock for the main part of the easel stand box, and then you'll need 1 piece for the pull-out drawer. And the measurements for this are 10 by 7 1/4, 8.5 by 7 1/4, and for the drawer you will need a piece that measures 8.5 by 6 5/8. So we're going to get on with our scoring. So I'm bringing in the scoreboard, and on the long side we're going to score it at 1 inch, 4.5 inches, 5.5 inches, and 9 inches. Turn it to the short side, and we're going to score it at 1 inch and 6.25 inches. Then we're going to score our second piece, and we're going to score that on the long side at 1 inch, 4.5 inches, and 8 inches. Turn it round and score it at 1 inch and 6.25 inches. And while we're at it, we're going to score our drawer as well. So on the long side we are going to score that on all 4 sides. We are going to score it at 3/4 inch and 1 5/8 inches. So 3/4, 1 5/8. Right then, let's put the scoreboard away, and let's start on the main body of the box. So in the same way, we are just going to do our burnishing. For the second piece. So this is the piece that measured 10 by 7¼ inches, and I'm just going to show you what we're going to cut away by doing it with a pencil. So we're going in like that and nicking a piece out there. Same here, we cut up these score lines and notch in, and we notch in here and here, notch in here and here and here, notching in. Same on the other side, we don't need this piece, but we need to notch in on all these pieces when we have cut up. So let's cut that first. So we're cutting up as you would for a normal box and notching in. That square comes out, and notch that side. Same on the opposite side, that square comes out. And we notch in. That's that piece done. And then we'll do the second piece, which measured 8½ by 7¼ So on this piece we need to cut away this square here and notch in, that piece here and notch in, and then we are going to cut away these corner skinny pieces and notch in and notch in, and we are also going to notch in on here. So let's cut those pieces. Right, get rid of those pieces. And then our box makes up like this. So all these pieces fold in on themselves like that. That comes up to there. That forms the drawer opening, and that part goes onto here, and that part comes up up and over onto here, and that's what forms our easel stand. So we need to glue all these down first to get them out of the way. Although, yes, I don't think that will interfere. So let's glue all these side bits down. It on the wrong part there nearly. So if I'm not very chatty today, it's because I'm really trying to concentrate on this. So that comes up and that goes down. So we want some sticky strip across here. And then I think the tape goes on this side, is that right? And I think then I put tape on this side. So you need a line of it near the first score line. So that's the easel part. And then this is our box which we need to stick down on itself, is that right? All these parts get stuck down. Same this side. Stick that down. So I'm just going to check this because it's a bit of a conundrum otherwise for me to work it out. So I think that goes like that, but I need to stick that to there. So that sticks on there, and that sticks on there. And that's right, so I need to put my sticky strip across this part here. So I'll open that up so that you can see it properly. And then these tabs get pushed in afterwards, so we need to put some sticky strip across those. And that's the phone, and my husband will get that for me. Like that. So that's all our sticky bits on. So if you want to look at that, that's what it looks like from that side, with your sticky strip down there and your tabs there which have sticky strip on the inside. All these pieces have been stuck down, and this is the easel part. So I've stuck all those side pieces down and put sticky strip across there and sticky strip across that skinny part. That's what sticks that down onto the easel. So now this is the front of our easel. So I've got my paper cut, and I shall put all the measurements for this on my website, so you can pop along and click into the project details in that down arrow description bar if you're looking in YouTube, and that will take you over to the measurements, because they are rather long and detailed. So position that nice and central on there, and then we're going to stick that to the front easel part. Looks good. And then we're going to stick our little calendar on, and these come in a little bag. Like I say, I got them from Card Factory. I'm going to have to cut them out. They seem to be in this packet so well. So cut that out of there. And they have very, very kindly put a piece of sticky strip on the back of these. So you just pull that off. Pull that off when you can get hold of it. Pull that off. And we position that as central as we can get that onto the front. That looks good. So that's that part done. That's our little easel part. Brilliant. And then the part, I have to think about this because I designed this some weeks before Christmas, and you have to sort of go over it in your mind. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put a little piece of card across here to act as a runner, because when you do that it helps the drawer run inside well. So I have forgotten to cut my card for that, so bear with me while I do that. I should just write down the measurements. So we need a little runner, so that needs to be 5 inches, so 5 inches by 3 1/4, and then we need a piece. we need a piece that runs along here as well. So that will be 5 inches by 7/8 of an inch. So let me just get my card. So that's 5 inches. 5 inches by 3 1/4. That's one piece, and by 7/8. That's it. Right, so let's just check where I put this. I put that along here. And that piece goes along here. So let's glue those down. That just helps the drawer to run a bit freer, otherwise it tends to get caught up on those little tabs, and we don't want that. It's easier to put this on before you make the drawer up, because I didn't realise that when I made my original one up, and I had to sort of try and fit it in afterwards, but it was okay. But it's easier if you do it at this point in time. So let's get our other piece, the top piece. So that goes to that, that goes to that. So let's take these tabs off here. Where's my pokey tool? Take these pieces off here. Stick to you. So that goes on here. And in order to line it up, it is best to turn it over and line this piece up with the back. And when you've got that lined up perfectly and you're happy, then press that down. And that will be a nice strong, and of course it's a nice strong box as well. So we take the tabs off of this as well. And then fold that over, and that should fit snugly onto there. And then our box folds back up, and then those tabs come inside, and that just gives that drawer holder a bit more strength. And now we've got lots of strength there because I've doubled over the card along the outside edges, and I've also put a bit of extra strengthener with these tabs, so that should last the year, because after a year you'd probably be bored with it and want to design a new one. So poke that in, and I'll show you how to put that onto there in a moment, because we need the drawer made up to give that the extra strength we need. Before we do that, we haven't put our beautiful designer paper. Love this stuff. Let's put some glue on that. So let's get Yes, that's that. So that goes on here, and decide which way up you want it. I think I'll have it that way up, I think. I don't think it matters. Line that up so that that looks nice and straight. Oh, so pretty. Oh, I love these colours. Oh, I can't wait to get this on my desk. Right, let's make up our drawer. And I've reinforced the drawer as well by doing 2 score lines. So let's fold and burnish our score lines on this. And then it's the usual thing on this where you take away these 3/4 on the outer edge, and you do that on all 4 corners. And then we do a bit of notching in. So where's my scissors gone? So let me just think about how I did this. I think I cut it up from this side. Let me think. I want the tab to go that way. That's it. And notch in on the sides. You don't need that piece there. Notch in again on here, and it's really just the same as for any reinforced box that I've done before. Notch in these end bits. And we're cutting up here. Notching in. Notching in here. Down to this end. Cut these end bits off. Notch in. That off there. Notch our tabs. Notch in. Cut those off. And notch out here. Is that all done now? I think so, isn't it? Let's get rid of those pieces. So we're going to need sticky strip on all these outside edges. And it's at this point that we need to make a hole for our ribbon to go through. And I'm using the matching, I'm using this stripy, beautiful stripy 3/8 of an inch ribbon, which is in get my teeth back in, which is in mint macaron, which matches this colour on this paper. So cut a little length off, as long as you think you need for your little tab. And it doesn't matter which end you put your hole, because the box measures the same each side. So you position your, I've got that through the wrong way, haven't I? Position that through. I'll get it right in a minute, that's better. Position that through, and you need to go about equal distance from each side and into about the middle of that piece, which I've done there. And now what we're going to do is we are going to thread these two pieces through here. And what I'm going to do to make sure that they both go through together, cut them at an angle so that you've got a point. Push the points through and pull them through. Come along now, you know you want to go. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put a piece of this across. But don't block your hole up with it, so a piece there and a piece here, because I've run out of fast fuse, so I can't use that today. So I've ordered some, and when it gets here I'll have it, but at the moment I haven't got it. So push our points through again and pull those through like that, and pull them through until you get them to how long you want your tab to be. So I usually put my finger or thumb in and then work out that that's the length of the tab I want. Push that over to the one side. Where's my pokey tool? Take this off here. It's static in this stuff, just makes it stick to you. Right, and then open that out and lay it as flat as you can and stick that down to the glue. Same on this side, and that's our tab stuck nicely. And then we need to put our glue, so I'm going to use Tombow for this, because you've got more manoeuvrability with this stuff. So let's put that on our 4 tabs. Right then. And we're now going to put that together. Glue that down. And I do hope you will have a go at making this and let me know how you get on, because I just think this is gorgeous. Sit on my desk all year, I shall love it. Right then, now all we need to do is to take our sticky off of here, press that down as you go, that way you don't get yourself all stuck up as you go. Push that down into there. Last one, and of course that hides up that ribbon as well then and gives you a neat finish. That's that. Beautiful. Oh, I've got my finger cut. Right, let's see if I can get rid of these bits, unless they stick to me, which they are. Right, so now we're going to get our book. So that's our little sticky notes, and I can't see a pen, so I'll just borrow that one. That's my little Stampin' Up pen. And then pop that little tray in there. That fits nicely. Perfect. And then take your sticky strip off of this piece here. And then you position it, I suppose, but where would I say you position it? Oh, this sticky strip's stuck to everything. You position it, I suppose, about 1 3/4 to 2 inches, because I've got my little bow on there, and I want to put a beautiful butterfly on here today, because I do like butterflies. So position that, make sure that it's as straight as it can be. Get your bone folder and just go inside there to make sure that that's nicely stuck down. So that's that. And now I'm going to finish mine off with a gorgeous little butterfly, and I've used my butterfly framelets that match the watercolour wings. I've used that one and cut those out already. And I've used mint macaron for that, again following the colours in my paper, and Night of Navy for the top part. So we're going to position that up, and we're going to stick that down on there. And I'm just going to use a bit of Tombow. On there. And stick that down on here. And I think I've used too much Tombow. Look at that mess. Position that on there. Nice. That's good. And then we're going to put some little rhinestones on there. I'm going to cut 4 off of this strip. And we're going to stick those on the centre. Oh, that's already been cut. Okay, let's go again. Right, that's going down the centre of my little butterfly for that added bling bling. Got to have bling on your projects where you can. And then I am going to put a little bit of Tombow on here. And I'm going to put that at an angle on my whoops, hold that down while it sticks. And that is my easel stand diary. I hope you like that. I think that's a gorgeous little project with a little pull-out drawer. I really do think that's really quirky, and I hope you'll have a go at that. I think it's just gorgeous. So let me know if you've had a go at it and how you get on. Don't forget that we're still in Celebration, where you get free products when you spend with Stampin' Up. All the details are on my website, and I have an online shop should you be interested in purchasing any of the products that you've seen me demonstrate today. There's also an offer of joining Stampin' Up at the moment. For £99 you get to choose £130 worth of products, plus they also throw in 2 extra stamp sets of your choice up to the value of £93, which means that for £99 you can choose £223 worth of products, and it's really well worth considering. So please do pop over to my website, where you'll also find all the measurements and dimensions of this project. And until the next time, it's bye for now. Bye.